Yo, what up, guys? This is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk. I don't know why I did that intro, but I had to do it because I'm a little bit excited. Um, Coming back to you with the video. I know this is kind of late. I didn't make a Chicago Bears video because um, some circumstances that happened. I had to work, and I had to work during Christmas. They had me work Christmas, and then they had me working Christmas Eve. And then the next day afterward, they had me working, and it was just a hectic day. But I'm back at it with another video. If y'all already saw my short, with Matt Nagy, we already know Matt Nagy is not fired yet. I thought, with Ian Rappaport reporting that Matt Nagy was about to get fired, I thought, man, that George McCaskey was going to do something about this so he could have ample time with this new NFL rule that allows teams to interview head coaches for the last 2 weeks of the season. And as you guys know, Matt Nagy is still here, and he already had his press conference. I believe it was yesterday, and he was saying that he was going to coach the last 2 games as if it was his last. So we're going to be dissecting, especially with this game, the Chicago Bears versus Seattle Seahawks, what happened. And yeah, so of course, the Chicago Bears. Let's see what this comment section is. Good luck, your Bears. Hey, what up, Boston Sports Report? What's going on, man? This is just a little bit of a hangout. You guys are welcome to come. I'm going to share the link. You guys are more than welcome to come. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. You guys are more than welcome to come. That's the link. So, yeah, the Chicago Bears, they faced the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday. And initially, the Chicago Bears, they weren't moving the ball that well. The Seattle Seahawks, on their first possession of the drive, they were able to go down, score a touchdown. And we thought, oh my gosh, man, this is Seattle Seahawks. They're gonna freaking blow out the Bears. That's what it was gonna look like. And second drive, the Bears, they came all the way down. They were moving the ball. And then when they went for it on fourth down, I was like, okay, we're going to get something. And then all of a sudden they missed that opportunity. And the Seahawks, they came all the way down and they scored again. I was like, man, this ain't looking good. Oh, no. The Bears, they scored a touchdown. I'm sorry, they scored a touchdown. So it was 7-7, with that Montgomery 1-yard touchdown. And I'm like, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is a start. This is a game. And then, of course, what do you know? The Bears defense, they gave up another touchdown. This again to DK Metcalf, and it wasn't looking good for my Bears. And then when the second half began, we already notoriously known that the coaching staff and Matt Nagy, they're not really great at making adjustments during the second half. But the second half, they started to get the ball rolling. They started not getting away from the run game, even though Seattle Seahawks, they were shutting down the run game. David Montgomery, he didn't make too much of an impact on the run game, but on the passing game, he was very, very effective. I think he had like 4 or 5 catches for 61 yards. And David Montgomery, he was doing a pretty good job. He was doing a pretty good job of that. And, in the last quarter, when the last quarter started, good old St. Nick did his wonder, on that 6-play, 80-yard touchdown to Jimmy Graham. And let's not forget that 2-point conversion, that crazy 2-point conversion that Demir Burke caught that ball. And I was like, oh, my gosh. That 2-point conversion that he made. Oh, Lord. Here comes my nephew. Good luck, your Bears, this Sunday. You think Nick Foles will play Week 17 versus the Giants? I don't know, Boston Report. They're trying to see if they're trying to see if Justin Fields could play Week 17. against the Giants. So we're gonna figure that out. Boston Sports Report, and yeah, CEO, CEO. I'm still gonna win my $100 because the Bears won yesterday, and so if the Bears win 7 games, that's when I win my bet. That's when I win my bet. So I share your video to my community post. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. What's good? What's good, Jonah Pitney? What's good, man? This week is actually a good week, except Nagy's. I know, right? And why is Nagy still here? Ian Rappaport said that the Chicago Bears, were possibly going to be firing Matt Nagy. I mean, they were saying if the losses pile up, but that wasn't the assumption. They were going to fire him regardless whether it was a win or not. And now that he's still here, it's Tuesday as of right now, as of December 28th. Oh, he already seen. This is my nephew, man. I don't know what. Oh my God! Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is my nephew right here. Say hi. Say hi. Look at him. He wants to be in the video. This is my nephew. All right, I'm actually doing a video. All right. All right.
I love you. I love you.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, well, we got another guest, Jonah Pitney.
Hi.
What's good, man?
Yo, what's going on, man? Hey, what's going on, Kofi
Little
nephew?
man.
What's his name? What's going on, little
His
man?
name is Yao.
Who?
Yao.
Oh, okay, bad. What's going on with you, man? How you
Future
feeling?
NBA superstar, right?
Hell yeah.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, man, Matt Nagy's still here, apparently, man. Matt Nagy is still here.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, he'll be gone at the end of the season, so it's all good.
Yeah, man. I mean, even after that Seahawks win, I was expecting George McCaskey to do something about it. But based on the reports, a lot of people were saying that people from different detractors, from their Matt Nagy supporters and the Ryan Pace reporters, they're trying to convince George McCaskey to kind of keep Matt Nagy. And I'm like,
that's
I don't know. George McCaskey, he's trying to go to the outside organization to get some more advice on what to do about the situation. But I mean, we already know at this point that he cannot keep Matt Nagy at this point. And he shouldn't even keep Brian Pace based on the costly decisions that he's made during the offseason.
Yeah, getting rid of Cal Fuller, signing Jermaine Ifedi, not improving the offensive line overall, The Bears having the worst offensive line in the league minimum players, giving up the most sacks, almost 50 sacks given up this year. I think this is 47, 48 sacks given up this year. They on pace to giving up 56 sacks this year. That means they're going to be just as bad as the 2010, 2011 Bears offensive line. So it's just as bad as them.
Yeah, and the fact that they also brought back Jermaine Ifedi, and he's still having those costly penalties, those false start penalties.
And giving up sacks like that, gave up them sacks like that. James Daniels giving up, just allowing people just to run right past and give up sacks. Nick Foles, I believe, sacked 4 times. So yeah, they gave up 40. Now the Bears are getting up 48 sacks this year. So yeah, it's looking real bad. This is probably the worst offensive line that the Bears have had since then. So
since 2010, 2011.
Yeah, so that lets you know, as bad as Charles Leno and Bobby Massey was, they wasn't this fucking bad.
They weren't this bad, no.
No, about saying with them, they probably would have given up 35 sacks overall. Because regardless, Charles Leno, he made sure he didn't false start all the goddamn time like this. He will give up a holding penalty before he give up a goddamn sack.
Right. Exactly.
So as bad as he was consistent. He stayed healthy. He was durable, and
right.
Sadly, he didn't give up sacks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't block and shit. He could barely
And his
block for
footwork
anybody.
wasn't always perfect. His footwork wasn't always that perfect too, but at least he wasn't always like false starting like Jermaine Fetty or even Tevin Jenkins. Even though he is kind of a rookie, like he's
Right.
had
Like,
his fair share
well,
of
I give him a pass because he it's only his third game.
second or third. I think second or third. Yeah.
Right. And matter of fact, he didn't even play the last game. Borum played that position last week. And Jermaine
Against
Ifedi took over the right side.
I think he played against the Seahawks. It's just that he had a shoulder injury.
Oh, because I didn't see all the games. So when I looked up, I was like, hold on, is that Jermaine? Say Larry Borum playing left tackle? Holy shit, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah, he had a shoulder injury.
Right. I'm about to say he already beat up, I give him a pass this year. He didn't really get the chance to really perform like he wanted to. If he would have played the entire season, he probably would have been looking much like he did in college by now, but
Right.
we will have to see how he performs next season. But what we do know is the Bears have to replace the center and guard position. James
I don't
Daniels, you
like
can
Cody
probably
Whitehair. Cody Whitehair, he needs to go. I'm sorry. Cody Whitehair is always pushed back, and that contract was not as
I
good
got
as what
I
Ryan
got
Pace
an
gave
important
him.
call coming in, Kobe. I'll hit you back in a minute, bro.
All right, man. All right.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, guys, I need this mic or something. It's probably I don't know what's going on with his thing. But whenever you're ready to come back, Jonah Pittman, I'll add you back. But like I said, with Cody Whitehair, he hasn't been a really effective guard. Even like when you played him at center, like he played really well at center. Probably I don't know if the way he's been playing the guard position because he doesn't play the guard position really well. It's like he's always getting pushed back a lot, and he's giving way too much space to all these defenders. Like even when David Montgomery runs, it's like he doesn't have enough time to get into the A gap or the B gap because he's giving away so much space and he's always giving too much pushback. It's like whenever at times when you're playing the offensive line position, you always got to square your body toward the defender. You always got to push yourself up, square your body toward the defender, push yourself up, and then move the defender. You got to stick him to right where his pecs are. Usually where both their pecs are because you get a lot of movement and you get a lot of momentum when you're holding their pecs like this. And then once you do that, you got to square your body, hold yourself upright and push them back. But it's like, I don't know what Cody Whitehair's problem is. It's like he's not doing well. And the same thing with Sam Mustipher. He has that problem. Last year, he was really good. Sam Mustipher, he was pretty, I wouldn't say he was really good, but he was fairly decent as a center. But it just seems like this season, it's like he's gotten a lot more weaker. It's like he's gotten bigger, but it's like he's just gotten a lot more weaker than what he was last season. And that was the problem like this year, because last year it wasn't even a problem like this. David Montgomery, he had over 1,000 yards last season. Those last 4 or 5 games we were playing with Mitchell Trubisky, Sam Mustipher was playing really well. And it's like this season, I don't know whether it's the game plan, the scheming that Matt Nagy has implemented this season as past last season, because pretty much it's almost the same game plan. But it's just like it's just that Matt Nagy not Matt Nagy. It's just that Sam Mustipher or Cody Whitehair, it's like they're not getting enough pushback and they're giving up so much sacks, of course, this year as opposed to last season, And with all the costly penalties that we've given up, the undisciplined plays that we've been doing, it just seems it's just taking a toll, for the worse for the Bears. And that's the reason why we have the record that we have, is because there's so much undiscipline across the board, not just offensively, but defensively, offsides, not knowing what your assignments are. That's been the case for the entire season. And yeah, man, hopefully for this offseason, the Bears management hopefully surrounds Justin Fields with capable talent, because Justin Fields is the future, and we got to get him good, viable weapons that can get separation, get complete separation, know their assignments, knowing when to juke out defenders, knowing when to beat out their defenders, because none of our receivers, we had so much speed on our wide receiver depth. Jameer Bird, we had Marquise Goodwin, of course, Darnell Mooney. It's just that they weren't getting enough separation at the time. And Matt Nagy, he was running all these curl routes. And it's just been a problem. Not just with the wide receiver, but just like with the coaching staff. And for the life of me, Thomas Graham Jr., why hasn't Thomas Graham Jr., right? Why hasn't Thomas Graham Jr. played this in the beginning of the season? Because I do not understand why, for the life of me, what the coaching staff is seeing. You had the whole entire offseason to evaluate the different cornerbacks, the different DBs, this whole offseason, and you're meaning to tell me you couldn't figure out that Thomas Graham Jr. was better out of the rest of them, was better than Artie Burns, was better than Kendall Vildor, was better than Xavier Crawford or Duke Shelley? That's an indictment on the coaching staff. And this is the reason why George McCaskey, he needs to get rid of this whole entire coaching staff, from the head coach all the way down to, the safeties coach or whatever, wherever the lowest total pole where the coaches are. He just needs to get rid of them. Forget what those detractors are saying, man. You got to do what's right for the team. You got to get rid of, especially Ryan Pace. The fact that he was able to get rid of Kyle Fuller, the fact that he wasn't able to give Justin Fields a viable, good offensive line to protect him, is just an indictment on the front office and on the head coach. I'm just sick and tired of seeing mediocrity over and over again. Like, if I was in George McCaskey's position, you couldn't even convince me. You couldn't convince me to keep Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace at this point. I would have fired both of them last season after what they did to Mitch, to use him as a scapegoat in that playoff series. And it's just a travesty to what the Chicago Bears organization is doing. If they bring Matt Nagy, you're wasting Justin Fields' potential, and you're showing the fan base that you do not care. Like George McCaskey, you're showing the fan base that you do not care. And George, you got to do the right thing. You got to do the right thing by this fan base, not only by your fan base, but your family legacy, because your family has a rich legacy of winning. And the past, 20 years, 20 plus years, 30 plus years, up until that point, the Bears has just been mired in mediocrity. The last 10 years, I believe we got almost the same record as the Detroit Lions. Of all teams, the last 10 years, we got almost as close of a record as the Detroit Lions. And that is simply unacceptable. And I know that we are a better franchise than the Detroit Lions, even though they have a capable future. Like, it is unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And George McCaskey, he's got to do right. He's got to do right by his family at this point. But I don't know, guys. I don't know about this Chicago Bears team. But anyway, let's switch over from the Chicago Bears to the Chicago Bulls. All right, guys. So yesterday, the Chicago Bulls faced the Atlanta Hawks. They beat them 130-118. DeMar DeRozan had let me check the stats real quick. Guys, let me check the stats real quick. So DeMar DeRozan, he had 35 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. Zach LaVine, of course, he had 30 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. And Nikola Vucevic, man, he had a monster game. He had 24 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists. The first quarter of the game, um, the Atlanta Hawks, they were playing really well. They're playing to us really well. Um, of course, Cam Reddish, he had a good monster game. Cam Reddish, he had 33 points, 4 rebounds, and Trey Young, he had 29 points, 9 assists, and 1 rebound. And the Chicago Bulls, they were playing real. They're playing really well. Well, they're kind of playing at a slow start the first half, but they started to kind of ramp it up during like the second half. Of course, the DeMar DeRozan, he was a fourth quarter assassin. He had 12 points during the fourth quarter, and Jack Levine, he was doing his own thing, playing really really well against the Atlanta Hawks. And so yeah, this Chicago Bulls team, they're looking like a legitimate team. They're looking like they're probably going to be a top 3 or top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. And with Lonzo Ball being out, the way they're able to move the ball around with Troy Brown Jr. playing the point and allowing this team to facilitate and allowing DeMar DeRozan to play his game, because we already know DeMar DeRozan, he has a killer mid-range game. He's the king of the fourth quarter. And you already know that Zach LaVine is always going to do his thing. These are two of the top players in the NBA. Hold on, guys. Anyway, so these are the top 2 players in the NBA right now, playing at a high level. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the East. As regards to going to the finals, that remains to be seen. We got to see how they play against the Milwaukee Bucks, because Milwaukee Bucks, I think they are the favorites to go back to the finals. With Giannis Antetokounmpo still playing at an MVP level, and then you got Drew Holiday, and of course Chris Middleton. They're still playing really well. We got to see how they do against them. I know that. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Hold on, guys. Sorry, y'all. My bad. I had to come back. I was coughing a lot. But like as I was saying, the Bulls, they look like they're going to be a top 4 team in the East. I still think that the Nets and Milwaukee are kind of over them at the moment, especially if Kyrie Irving comes back and plays. But if the Bulls, if they keep winning, especially if they keep winning against stronger competition like the Suns, Milwaukee, the top teams, they still got to beat the freaking Philadelphia 76ers for the life of me. If they beat those teams, or if they go on like a 7 or 8 game win streak, then I might put them, in there as serious title contenders. I still got to see more from the Bulls, even though I do still think they're like a top 3 or top 4 team in the East, but I kind of don't see them as serious title contenders, because I really got to see how they're going to do against like Milwaukee, like top teams like Milwaukee, like the Milwaukee Bucks, or like they got to beat the Phoenix Suns, the Philadelphia 76ers. And hell, you guys got to get your revenge on the Golden State Warriors. If you beat the Golden State Warriors, then I might change my mind. I might see something, I got to see them beat those top tier teams, those top tier teams, before I could make my assessment. But anyway, I do think that this Bulls team is really good. They came a long way from the past 4 years I've been watching the Chicago Bulls. Last year, we couldn't even beat the Atlanta Hawks to even save our lives. Like, even last year when Zach LaVine, he had that 50-point game last season, like, shoot. Or even like when he scored like I think he scored like 25 points in the second quarter and he ended up with 50 points. But that second half, like, the Atlanta Hawks were just freaking gashing us because they already saw that Zach LaVine was like our only viable scoring option. They weren't moving the ball around. They weren't allowing other guys to be open. Kobe White was just playing horribly, even though he was like our second or third option. Nikolai Vucevic wasn't even playing that well that game. And with this season, man, we got multiple scoring options. We don't only have Nikolai Vucevic, but we got DeMar DeRozan, and that makes us a threat to any team, not only in the East but in the Western Conference or the whole NBA. The whole NBA, it makes us the threat because we got so many ways that we can beat you, and not only that the way that we can beat you, you got a great defense. We're top 10 in defense and offense. And if we keep up with this type of play going into the playoffs, we're gonna make some noise. We're gonna make some real noise, and I can't wait, man, because it's been a long time coming, with the Chicago Bulls. Because I haven't seen a good competitive Chicago Bulls team since 2015. That same year, Tom Thibodeau was fired, and even at that point, I wasn't even too sure that the Bulls were even going to go anywhere up until that point of the season, because of course you had LeBron James in the Eastern Conference during that time, and LeBron James was just running the East. I felt like the Bulls weren't really going to go anywhere, but at this point of the season, I feel like the Bulls could probably make some noise in the playoffs or possibly even make the finals, depending on if they keep up with this type of play. But we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see come All-Star weekend, during February. We'll see where they're at this point of the season. If they still are playing at the same high level, moving the ball, if Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan are doing their thing, I might change my mind. I might view them as like serious NBA title contenders. But at this point, I view them as a top 3, top 4 team. That's kind of where I'm at. But as serious title contenders, I'm not there yet. I'm not really there yet. I got to see more. I got to see how they do against like top tier competition, like if they beat the Golden State Warriors, if they beat the 76ers, if they beat the Heat, because they still haven't beaten the Heat yet for me to consider them top tier title contenders. So if they beat the Heat, if they beat the Milwaukee Bucks, then I might view them as serious title contenders. For me, you got to beat those top tier teams, and you got to go on like a serious, like 10-game, 12-game winning streak or whatever. But yeah, guys, that's kind of where I'm at with this Bulls team. Even though, they're a pretty good team. They're 21-10, second in the Eastern Conference. And boy, oh boy, did we shut up a lot of those detractors that were saying, oh, the Bulls were at best going to be a play-in tournament team. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Even with Nikola Vucevic, like, do you seriously, even, when we didn't acquire Lonzo Ball or DeMar DeRozan, I didn't even think that they were going to be like a play-in tournament. I thought they're going to be a playoff team. But these guys must have been smoking on something, bro, because, I don't know what they thought of DeMar DeRozan, or the fact that they haven't been watching the NBA in quite a few years to know that DeMar DeRozan, he used to be one of those players that own the Eastern Conference. And not only that, he was one of like the top scoring options with the Spurs. Like, they're really their only good scoring option with the Spurs. And so the fact that they're able to make that, oh God, the fact that they're able to make that argument that the Bulls were only going to be as good as a playing tournament just shows you how bad and how biased the media is against the Bulls. That just shows how stupid and inconsiderate and biased that there are with their analytics and their information. But the Bulls, we're proving everybody wrong. We're proving everybody wrong. And we don't want nobody to talk about us. We like to stay under the radar. We've got to stay under the radar. We're very good at being underdogs. I like that underdog mentality, because when you have that underdog mentality, you start to do things like outwardly things that you have never done before. And you're already seeing it from DeMar DeRozan, Nikolai Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. You're already seeing it right now. So hopefully, come playoff time, we're really going to shut up the doubters, because, man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what's going to be going forward this season and what's going to be going forward with this team as a whole. But anyway, guys, I'm a little over 30 minutes. I'm only going to stop at 30 minutes. But anyway, guys, this is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk. And, stay tuned for more videos. All right, guys. Peace.